Hello, everybody, and welcome Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal, your regular Tuesday night show. How's Denise doing?
I'm awake. Changed all my plans for the whole week as of this morning.
Yeah, I bet you did.
So I was planning on getting that wall painted on Friday.
Yeah, it still ain't painted.
Ain't gonna happen. I get the steam clean carpets instead.
Oh, really?
Yep, steam clean carpets and get rooms ready, and it
I'm
is.
gonna have to find time and come down there and paint that wall.
We got so much furniture in here. I mean, there's furniture from that door all the way around to this window over here that you can't see. So that's the biggest problem, is we have to remove all the furniture. So, but yeah, I was going to do it, and I just said, I'm going to do something that I want to get done. I'm tired of looking at that. When you have 4 daughters, guess what you have? You have at least 4 wrenches to go into everything.
Oh, I know. It happens all the time. How's Clover doing?
She's doing good. Found out that those little cups of Gerber cereal have 60% of their iron for a day in one of those teeny tiny cups. And if she just eats one of those a day, she'll probably be really good. She goes to the doctor on Thursday, and we'll hopefully get a clean bill of health for her at that point. And then tomorrow I go for a stress test. So all scheduled and everything. It's been scheduled for about a month since I was in
everything that's been going on in the last couple of weeks with you. Yeah, you better take something to relax so you can go through the stress test.
It'll be fine. It's just walking on a treadmill. I mean, I'm in good shape. I mean, just because my heart decides it wants to go on a jog doesn't mean that I can't go for a walk. I mean, I've walked from Leah's house to here. That's 2.5 miles. I don't have a problem. So if I can walk, I'm fine. As long as they don't make me jog. Stuff bounces, and it doesn't look good when it bounces. And it's not what you think either.
Okay.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's follow-up from when I went to the hospital on October 24th, 25th. So it'll all be good.
Well, that's good. It's good.
And Ron's here too. You can hear him shaking his junk behind me.
Yeah, I see him coming in.
So
shaking his junk. Boy, that doesn't sound good.
I was talking about stuff bouncing too, so it's all good.
Whoa.
So, and as you can see, it's cold. I got my blanket.
Yeah, it is chilly out and everything. It's like
that wind
34 degrees up here, but
50-mile-an-hour winds.
It's about 37 down here.
We don't really
feels
have
like 20.
a wind. That was what was beautiful last night while it was snowing. There was no wind at all.
Yeah.
And we got that street light out here. So you open the door. I have my green screen. But anyway, you'd open the door and the big snowflakes were coming down. It almost looked like one of them laser pins you would hang out there. It looked like you had to go through all the little snowflakes. Hello, Nigel.
Hey, Nigel.
You know what was really bad was driving in that last night.
Oh, I'll bet.
Between Cleveland, Missouri, and here, it was really bad. You were driving through an inch of slush. And that's more dangerous sometimes than just driving on just regular snow. And you couldn't see a thing. It was coming down pretty heavy.
Yeah, it came down pretty heavy for a while. It was still even snowing here at 10 o'clock this morning.
So, well, thank you, Nigel, for sharing. So I'm going to introduce our guest tonight because, I don't want him to run off. So,
yeah, he might run and hide.
I doubt that. He's not scared of anything. So our guest tonight is Nick Simons. He was on 28 Days Haunted, and he's a friend of mine that I want everybody to meet and get ready. He tells it like it is, and that's what I like. So hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Denise. Hey, Ron. Hey, Carl. Nice to meet you, Carl. Nice to see you, Denise.
Well,
around again.
I met you a couple years ago at the Kansas City Paracon down there in Masonic Temple.
Oh yeah, that was a.
I met you and Aaron down there. You was
That
in
was
the same
interesting,
room there
wasn't
with PRI.
I might have been enjoying the free Big Rip Brewing Company beer
Yes,
that
you
night.
were. You were.
I think that night they actually cut me, or excuse me, they cut Johnny Hauser and I off from free samples.
Wow.
Yeah, Johnny Hauser and I, we had like a stack of cups.
Uh-oh.
That place is so small, though. I mean, it's hard to believe how many people can fit in that place with as small as it is.
Yeah, and to go all the way up to the top floor for speeches. I was up there. I was getting woozy.
No, I was talking about
going
Big
up
Rip
and
Brewing
down
Company.
those stairs was something else.
Oh, Big Rip Brewing Company. I've never seen Big Rip Brewing Company.
It's just down the road from where you were at.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
But yeah, I've never been to the Masonic Temple.
No, they brought the samples, remember?
Yeah.
There, they didn't
But
have
that
to go
one
to
was a lot different. That
brewery.
one you walked outside and you had to deal with all the druggies from the park
Yeah.
coming over there.
The one I went to the year before that, they had it on the other side of the town at a like a moose lodge or something. It was just one story, nice like flat.
Oh, so did you do it the one on Holmes Road?
We might have ran down there to visit.
83rd. It was 83rd and Holmes Road.
Yeah. Warrenall.
Yeah, it was Holmes.
Yeah, we
yeah. So.
Aaron
Yeah,
and
that
I,
neighborhood's not great either. There's bodies found. I mean, I'm not kidding. We used to live down the road from there, and
Hey, Carl.
so
Hi, Susan. I'm
You
not
see
going to
Susan
block
and
you
Mike are here,
tonight.
right? You gonna get ready to block her again?
No, I'm not going to do that. That was a accident with that coming up.
right. And then on the other hand, we shouldn't have been blocking anybody other than the one person.
Well, that one person we needed to block, but the other one we didn't after I looked them up and found out what they meant by all the X's.
So what you need to know is we are live currently in Japan.
oh, Dormo Origato.
Yeah.
We're over on Japan Paranormal's
Mr.
page
Roboto.
over in Tokyo.
Oh.
So,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Japan can have Facebook. It's China that has to use WhatsApp and all that stuff.
yeah. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
So yeah, got to be monitored. God forbid we should happen to say something. So, but yeah,
We're getting there.
we have listeners in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, I have a radio show with a Scotland group here next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Scotland
they're going to stay
Paranormal?
up for my time.
And we're live in Australia.
G'day, mates.
Yeah. We get out all over the place on this network.
Too bad we
everything.
can't go there and be actual live.
Oh, yeah, it would be nice.
I was watching Monday Night Football last night. It was either that or it was on WWE. I was just switching back and forth. I'm a huge wrestling fan. And they actually aired a commercial for the Australian Tourism Board. Visit Australia. And they got a little cartoon kangaroo that jumps around and talks about how awesome Australia is. So it's nice to see that they're opening back up to visitors coming down, because I know when all the 2020 kicked off, they were like, nope, nobody's leaving, nobody's coming in.
Yeah.
It was
They
bad.
were
I mean,
real strict.
they had trouble. There was a jockey that was lucky enough to get out and back in.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I mean, it was like pulling teeth to get him out. So
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, that country, they were locked up tight.
Yeah, it was to the point one of our listeners down there was telling us when the major lockdowns were, only one person could be out of the house, and you had to be going to the store. If you was doing anything else, you were going to get arrested.
it's
Damn.
ridiculous. But
yeah,
again,
that was bad.
but again, we're not going to talk about that
No.
because we will get blocked fast. We don't want that.
Oh,
Hey.
all right.
We've been
It's the
blocked a
truth.
lot.
I mean, facts are facts, right?
But again, we've been blocked enough times where we don't want to get it again. So how did you get picked to be on 28 Days Haunted?
Well, I was minding my own business, fishing on the mighty Mississippi in the great town of Bellevue, Iowa. I just caught a catfish, and it wasn't to my liking, so I threw it back, and I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket, and it was Aaron G. Thompson on the other end saying, "Hey, we got a meeting with a producer. Can you make it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So we went down. Aaron and I did the interview, and over the years, Aaron and I have probably sat through 25 different interviews, and it's one-time interview, and you never hear from him again.
Right.
Maybe one other interview that had a follow-up email, but that was it. And then a couple of months went by, and the same person that interviewed us originally called back and said, "Yeah, you guys are coming with us. You got a problem with that?" And we were like, "No." Next thing you know, you got all these people friending you on Facebook to like dig through all your posts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they dug through my Facebook posts all the way back to the beginning, and I think I had one of the original Facebook pages of 2009, and they dug through Instagram and all that. And they'd email us back, just trying not to get us blocked. Like you were worried about getting blocked. They have protocols for making sure that any of their future cast or current cast is not doing anything on the internet that'll get them blocked. That was pretty cool.
I mean, did they check the dark web and make sure you weren't doing shit over there?
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, they had all of our information, and then after that, we had to do a interview with a psychiatrist. And the next thing you know, it says like 3 days in advance, we got a 3-day advance notice. Congratulations, you guys are going to, drumroll, Connecticut. And it was like, okay, I guess we're going to Connecticut. And there's not a whole lot you can do to prepare to go to Connecticut. Right. I mean, it's not like you just Google haunted locations in Connecticut and Captain Grant's is like the first one to pop up.
Right.
So we were just flying to Connecticut, and that's all we knew.
Well, I would think
they just told you the state, at least.
Yeah.
So
we flew into Hartford or whatever it is, that big airport.
At least you didn't have to go to Deb and Arnie Johnson's house. That'd have been bad.
Yeah.
They were, that's the devil made me do it case.
Yeah.
So, because that's one, I would assume if you look up haunted places in Connecticut, that'd be the first one that comes up.
No, I actually Googled it.
No, that's what I would think because of the fact. Well, I know that
what was the number one up there?
Norwich.
Oh yeah.
Norwich State Hospital, which is actually just down the street from Captain Grant's.
Right.
You figure so.
It's not a very big state. You can.
Yeah,
we literally walk across it in an hour.
Yeah, when we were leaving,
that's Rhode Island.
We drove down the street and hung a right to go back to the airport, and that road goes right up the gut of what's left of Norwich State Hospital. So you have old, dilapidated, scary-looking mental asylum buildings on both sides of the road, and the road just winds through there. I'm like, brick red in the face. Why the F didn't we stay here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if it rained, you'd get wet.
So?
Well,
it's only 28 days. We can rough it.
Yeah, look at all these.
At least it
see all those
August.
books behind me? Half of them are on bushcraft. I would have been able to take care of the three of us.
You know what? I've interviewed some other people on survival.
Yeah.
Because, we love those survival shows as well.
And
so I've interviewed a few of the Ozark Bushmen, J.P. Phillips down in Springfield. He's really big into it. And let's see. Well, I think I know a couple people from that one alone. One up there in Omaha.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
We were talking about Kansas City Paracon. Jason Kupsik that puts that on is big into bushcraft and survival.
Yeah,
he's like, we should go out and do like a survival paranormal thing. I'm like, where are we gonna go?
Actually, I had somebody bring that to me, an outdoor Paracon, and investigate outside. And it's like, you kind of can't do that in our area because we do have weather that changes quite frequently. We suddenly have tornadoes or we suddenly have hailstorms and things like that. Or it's 70 degrees and the next day it snows.
Right.
or it's 110 out, and you're going to die out there in the heat all day long and hot at night.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, the mosquitoes would carry Aaron G. Thompson away. And
Oh, yeah.
you just watch him disappear over the horizon. There he
Well,
goes.
you just
Bye,
don't,
buddy.
you just don't do it in Alton. Alton's got the worst mosquitoes of any place I've ever been, besides Bridgeton, Missouri.
Oh my gosh!
Come up here, you can still see the river, and
oh yeah.
If it's not the mosquitoes, it's the shad flies that they have to bust the snow plows out and plow them off the bridge.
My boss was in. He used to be in Minneapolis, and they'd go on vacation, and he goes, "You have to land at 10,000 lakes and millions of mosquitoes."
Yeah.
And he goes, "They call it fly fishing." He goes, "It's not fly fishing; it's mosquito fishing.
Yeah,
you can catch some. You can catch some fish."
Yeah, you can just put them on a fly and zing
they're
it out
just
there.
huge up there.
Yeah, they're big.
So I don't know. I know Alaska's got some big ass mosquitoes. So
Alaska?
Yeah, Alaska.
Yeah, in the summer.
For their whole month of summer. I think they just kind of drop dead, not drop dead. They just pass out, and when the snow melts, they just come back to life. It's just how it looks.
Hibernate for a little bit. Get at least 2 years out of their mosquitoes up in Alaska.
Hey there, Jeff. Glad to see you here. So you guys went up to Connecticut, and you didn't know who you were going to be with.
Nope.
They didn't give you any information other than pack for Connecticut.
No, it was just, like we knew 3 days in advance, so we kind of were able to like Google what the weather's like out there, and we really didn't know what part of the state we were going to, because there's like northern Connecticut's a little colder than where we were at. Where we were at was like comparable to Iowa temperatures. I mean, it was humid out there.
Oh, well, you're not that far from the ocean.
You knew you were going with Aaron, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's all I had was
Aaron
and I have to be at the Moline International Airport at 7 a.m. on this day. And we flew from Moline to Minneapolis and had a 2-hour layover in Minneapolis. So we were, just Googling our little tushies off on what we could find out about haunted Connecticut or Connecticut in general, because we'd both never been there before.
Yeah.
I've never been there either.
I have.
It looks like parts of Missouri, pretty much.
Just with more humidity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Baltimore, so it's not much different than Baltimore or Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Other than it's smaller. I mean, there's no towns as big as either one of those there, to be honest.
Right.
So, but were you excited? I mean, when you found out where you were you excited? Did you have any history on the place at all?
Zero history. So what you see on the show is what our first reaction to taking the blindfolds off, because what you didn't see on the show was they picked us up from the hotel right by the airport, and in another car, Sean Austin comes pulling up, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing, Sean?" And like, "Hey, we're Nick, we're Aaron." Handshake, everybody piles into the Suburban that we were in. They're like, "Put these on." I'm like, "Man, this is like trafficking." Is really a show, or we're going to wake up on a ship?
Yeah.
Are you getting shanghaied? Yeah, that's Katie Stafford told me. He goes, "When you come out here," he goes, "I got to blindfold you and put you in a van." And he goes, "I got to take you in there and you're not going to know where in the hell you are." I'm like, "Me?" He didn't tell anybody else that, but he told me that. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, thanks, Katie. So we will put them blindfolds on, and we were in the dark for probably 40 minutes of just driving around, coming to stops, going, turning.
So did you feel like you were going in circles?
No.
Okay.
After the final day and we got our phones back, I turned the maps on to figure out where we were at. I didn't know the name of the town until the last day when they gave us our phones.
Oh, really?
Oh, so you was without your phones for the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, as soon as we got on that Suburban on the very first day, it was turn the phones off, hand them over. I carry 2 phones, so I gave them both my phones. And they're like, "No, wait, we're going to do Aaron next." I'm like, "No, these are both mine. Here you go." Yeah, they were off for 28 days. turn it on, it had the same amount of charge that it did when I turned them both off.
Well, that's good.
And I had 500 messages on it, probably.
Yeah. Oh, I got with all my close people and told them where I was going, what I was doing. I actually forgot to tell my dad. Whoopsie daisy.
Uh-oh.
And so I had to like, hello, are you there? Why are you ignoring me? He goes, oh, I just text your wife. Never mind.
Well, you figure she at least knew at least your general area.
Yeah, she also knew I was in Connecticut, and if there was a big time emergency, she had the producer's number, direct cell phone number, so she could call him at any time if there was a reason to contact me.
So that's probably the longest time you haven't talked to your wife.
Yeah.
I don't hardly ever talk to him.
It was tough. A lot of long nights of wondering what she was doing and if she was okay, and it was crazy to get my phone back and call her. And she actually started crying in the middle of Target when I called her. Oh. And she's like, man, you've missed so much. ZZ Top's Dusty Hill died. Joey Jordison from Slipknot died. War's going to almost start. And I was like, wow. It was like, welcome home from prison. That's what I wanted her to do, was go to the airport and hold up a sign that said, welcome home from prison.
And Jeff, we are seeing your messages.
Yeah, Jeff.
We hear you. We're seeing you. If you have any questions for Nick, let us know. But and we are seeing you, Susan. And I hope you enjoy Alaska in May. And hope you're letting Mike go with you. Just hope he gets to go too. So you went out there, and what she should have done was tie a yellow ribbon around her tree. And make the neighbors think you were in jail. Can you imagine all the talk? Oh my God. Either he's at war or he's in jail. Which one is it?
Well, most of the neighbors that we're close with have had a idea of what's going on. Like, I have to go do something for television. I'll be back.
Well, I'm sure you got a job. So what'd work say?
They were head over heels for me.
Oh, really?
I'm salary at work. That's how I end up with two phones. Good. I'm always on call. So if this one starts ringing, I'm sorry. But work was like, hell yeah, you can take a month off. That's awesome.
That's good.
That's good for you.
That has like 20 something days on.
Right.
Yeah. Mine, I can't get off one day, much less 20.
Yeah.
So, and what is your day job?
My day job is aluminum stuff. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, okay. Those of us who have day job, I have an interview tomorrow with this lady. It's just a personal interview. And she goes, well, I can't talk to you during the day. I have a job. And she goes, most of the paranormal people she talks to don't have day jobs. And she goes, I want to talk during the day. And she goes, I can't do anything till after 5.
Right.
And I'm like, neither can I. Surprise.
Yeah. I actually just left there 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, we have all heard of the Bel Air house. At least I'm pretty sure everybody has. It's been on TV multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
So have you been there? Have you been to the Bel Air house?
Where's that?
Is that the one that looks like an upside down cross?
I've heard of that.
No, that is
North Carolina or South?
It's in
it's in Ohio, isn't it?
Yeah, in Bel Air, Ohio.
Oh, I was gonna say I've heard of it, but I couldn't remember where it was.
Yeah, because Jeff in the comments up there once was the groundskeeper there.
Yep. I've been friends with Jeff for a long time. So it's an interesting house. And the one that's shaped like an upside down cross is Willow's Weep in Indiana, owned by Dave Spinks. And no longer open to paranormal investigators, just basically him and his team because of things that have happened there.
Huh.
It's a pretty nasty place.
I just interviewed him again, was it a few weeks ago? I talked to him.
Yeah, we know a few people that were up there and nothing good ever happened.
Yeah, Batgirl Amy Jo, she used to talk about that place all the time.
Not good.
Back in the day when I was on a different network. But when you decided to do this show, when you heard about the concept, what did you think?
I was screaming. I go, "That's insane! Sign me up!" Because most investigations, it's 4 or 5 hours in one night, and
right,
gotta go.
So, how many days do you think it would take, or what day did you notice the biggest difference? Like the spirit said, "All right, we've had enough of you guys. We want, we're going to do something to get you out."
Yeah, it's probably day 15.
Okay,
it was starting to get kind of heightened, you could say.
I think that's what Aaron said about day. Yeah, it's about 15, 16.
Was it the spirits, or was it just you guys were on each other's last nerve?
Both.
Okay.
My dad always said when I graduated high school and was looking into moving out, he goes, "For the love of God, whatever you do not rent a house with your buddies." And I get it now. After doing 28 days with those guys, I mean, yeah, we all talk and we're still friends after it, but it's like, that was too much time of not being able to
30 days,
get away from each other.
Yeah, if it'd been 30 days, maybe not.
And so folks know you was in there for 28 days. You never left the house.
We were able to go outside when the producer said we could go outside and go to the cemetery. But we could go outside and, just stand on the porch and drink coffee and vape and whatnot. But there wasn't like we could just like take off and walk down the street.
Now, did they have a bunch of people outside the house making sure nobody came to the house, or?
They had security outside, and I'm from Iowa, so I'm Iowa nice. I'd see them out rummaging around at their little trailer or whatnot. I'd be like, "How you doing?" And they just look at the ground and start walking away. I was like,
well, they're going. You're not supposed to have any interaction with the outside world. So
nope, we're only allowed to talk to the producer. Otherwise, all the PAs and people, running the cameras and the trailers and stuff, they're just they put the blinders on and go the other way. All right.
So unless you were bleeding out, they weren't coming near you.
Correct.
So what was your favorite thing to eat while you were there? Because I know that food was delivered daily.
Food was delivered weekly, not daily. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite stuff?
Well, we had a propane grill, and I was grilling stuff every night. And it upset me that they cut out me grilling Spam. Trying to force feed it to Aaron and Sean, but
you know what? Spam is good as long as you rinse it off, get the gel off, get some of the salt out of it. And I eat turkey Spam because I can't eat. Well, we can't eat pork.
Oh,
so the turkey Spam is my backup meat.
Not religious or nothing. Just since our gallbladders got removed, we can't eat it. We get sick.
It just boom goes right out.
No, we literally get sick.
Yeah, they double up.
Yeah. So needless to say,
it's bad.
And everybody should have something like that in their cabinet just in case.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Spam is one of the few things that you can eat hot or cold, and you know what? It's really good fried with an egg and cheese.
Hell yeah! Right.
I've grilled it too.
to piggyback off of that story, in what year was it? Was it 2020? We had the derecho here in Iowa.
Oh yeah,
out on the news.
Yeah,
the power in my house here got knocked out for 7 days straight in the middle of August when it's 110 out. But the first night it happened, we was eating all the stuff out of the freezer, and probably by like Thursday, I was standing outside with the neighbors, and we were having sardines on crackers and grilling Spam then, and it was a good time. Had an old MRE, we was eating on that. Chili mac and cheese, our MRE.
Yeah.
So people, potted meat. I used to love potted meat. You can't eat it now because it's got pork in it. It's not beef. But, I've eaten a lot of stuff that people wouldn't even dream of. One of the weirdest things I've eaten that people don't even know probably exists, bologna gravy.
Bologna gravy. I'd try it.
My mom would make it because bologna was cheap.
Yeah.
And back in the day, brains and eggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had that.
I tell everybody about that, and they go, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, they used to sell it in a can in the store. They got Banner sausage here in the store now, and I love Banner sausage.
We used to get it fresh from the locker plant. Me and Pawpaw did.
Mm-hmm.
We were the only two that eat it. Mom and Dad, they'd look at it and go, no way. And I'm going, that's good stuff.
My mom would make it for us because we were on Social Security and we bought groceries once a month, and that was it. So what's the strangest thing you've eaten?
Me?
Yeah.
You talk about ever or
ever?
For 28 days.
Well,
in the last week?
Ever. You know.
Ever?
Because I know as kids we eat a lot of dumb stuff, but that's not intentional.
Strange to the general public would probably be a raccoon.
Okay.
Now, did you in the oven, or did you grill it or barbecue it?
We did it in a slow cooker, like pulled pork.
Oh, okay. Usually, I've had raccoon before, but we do it in a grill or a smoker to get all the fat drippings completely out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a lot better the way we like it.
My grandma caught in New Jersey. When we lived in Patterson, she caught a groundhog in our yard. Guess what we had for dinner?
Groundhog.
Yep.
We had one at my grandparents' house. They go, Denise, which one of these bunny rabbits do you like?
Oh,
Cute little fuzzy bunny. I pick it out and I name it. It was dinner. I didn't name it dinner. They did. So I stopped picking stuff after that. My grandparents raised rabbits, and I don't think it's weird. It's just weird that they had me pick one and then fed it to us, you know?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's the way you do it.
I'm still trying to think of weirder stuff that I ate, because I mean, I've got right now in my freezer, I've got cow tongue, cow heart, liver, deer back straps, deer hamburger.
So there's really nothing too out of the ordinary.
I'll tell you this. Somebody bet me that I wouldn't skin a catfish with my teeth. Guess who had some money in their pocket that night? I go, can I start it with a knife? And just
knowing that, would you eat a raw herring if you were on a ship? You have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then, Sig Hansen would let you be on his ship.
Yeah, we get pickled herring. I got some in the fridge right now. That's good on saltine crackers.
See, it's another show you can be on.
Yeah.
Deadliest Catch.
Deadliest Catch, Alone.
I love Alone.
Yeah, that's a great show.
But I tell you, the thing that pisses people off when I say that I eat, they go, oh my God, that's disgusting. I like sugar on my macaroni and cheese. And I have people tell me all the time, how can you do that? That's disgusting.
I'll see your macaroni and cheese with sugar on it and raise you Braunschweiger on toast dunked in chocolate milk.
Now, I love Braunschweiger.
I have done that.
That's one of my favorite ways
I can
to
eat that stuff.
Wow.
Liver cheese, any of that.
Yeah, I love Braunschweiger with mustard.
It's good with mustard, but I especially like it by itself on toast, dunked in chocolate milk. It is chef's kiss.
And maybe it's the chocolate milk part that gets me. I don't know, but so we're talking. See, we're talking paranormal foods.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know one of the weirdest things here lately that it's not weird, but it's weird how they make it. The Amish up here make a hot dog pie.
Okay.
And it's just what it describes. It's hot dogs in there with a bunch of other stuff, and you cut it like a pie and eat it.
I've heard of that.
And I'll tell you what, it's really good.
10 out of 10, I'd eat that right now.
I make a hamburger pie. I used to make a hot dog casserole when we first got married. Remember, we had hot dog casserole probably every other week.
I like goat food.
You like goat food?
Probably the coolest pie that I've had this year, because I do a lot of traveling for work. Like, I know aluminum like the back of my hand, so I'm always flying over the place. Matter of fact, on Thursday I have to drive to Indiana. But in Indiana, there's what they call a Hoosier pie. or sugar pie or milk pie. And I had one of those this year, and hands down, it's like Hoosier sugar milk pie, and then like pumpkin pie is underneath there. I mean, pumpkin pie got knocked out of number one. That milk pie was amazing. It tastes like cereal milk, but it's like gelatinous in a pie form. That's awesome.
Oh wow!
There's a buttermilk pie that's really good as well, and I make a lovely eggnog pie with rum.
I'd eat the life out of that one too.
Yeah.
I find a way to utilize what liquor we have since I'm not allowed to drink anymore. I know. It's sad.
Oops, it's accidentally in the meatloaf. That's weird. We made spaghetti one time with Yukon Jack in the sauce. That was a hard one to swallow there because the Yukon Jack was a little strong. And
Well, that's just like eggnog around the house here. When it's in the refrigerator, it's only used with Jack Daniels. That's the only way it gets used.
Now, see, I like my eggnog with rum.
Well, I like it with my Jack.
I like it plain.
I
can do that to a point, but I love my Jack in it.
Trader Joe's has an eggnog yogurt that tasted really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Andy's Frozen Custard has a great eggnog shake.
Yeah, there's an ice cream joint here in town called Whitey's Ice Cream, and they have a rolling out their eggnog shake here pretty soon if it's not already out.
Well, if you ever get down in this area north of Kansas City, about 50 miles over in the little town of Osborne, you go to Chateau Milk. They will have milk in any flavor you want.
Show me what.
I mean, any flavor. They do red velvet milk.
I've had that before. Damn good.
But well, to give you an idea, the Chateau, their triple chocolate milk tastes just like a malt.
Oh.
That's how good it is. It comes in a glass bottle.
Great.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. They became a gigantic company in our area doing stores and out there, and school buses where kids go out and travel through it and stuff.
You take care of mommy.
Yeah.
So
let's see. What's the weird
Okay,
flavor of milk? I don't think I've had anything too crazy for milk.
Oh, great.
they even have a milk called biscuits and gravy.
That could be good.
They're creators over there create all different kinds
biscuits and gravy milk
for the season.
I'd try it. They the neighbor's kids are convinced that I'd probably eat a person if it was seasoned right.
Well, you might want to talk to Jeffrey Dahmer.
I make gravy with milk, so
yeah.
Yeah, no, none of that for me. It was Clover. She was calling to show me how she used not a permanent marker, but a dry erase marker to mark all over her face.
Nice.
Hello, Jane. There's our
Anthony.
Jane's our lady from Glasgow. Over there.
So how did your wife feel about you being gone for 28 days?
She didn't like any part of it, but she was like, you know what? You guys have broke your backs for all these years on YouTube and whatnot, and this will probably never happen again. So you might as well go
take
do
advantage of it.
Yeah.
So how did people? So what were you told from the people that watch the show? What they think
about the show?
Yeah.
That it went by way too fast. I'm like, I agree.
6 shows. I mean, they probably had enough stuff to do.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
12 shows, not just 6.
I thought it was going to be more than 6 episodes.
Yeah, you figure, if you had the camera that we had, with the backpack, just that camera alone, if you filmed for 24 hours a day, that's over 2,000 hours of footage.
Right.
Additionally, besides that camera inside that house, you had RoboCams that could operate on an XY axis and could do 180 degrees up and down and left and right. And, there was at least 15 of those. So 2,018 hours, I think it is, times 15. I mean,
they had a lot of
plenty of footage
to go over.
And then 3 locations to do.
And so my question for you is, was there something that was left out that you felt should have been in there? Evidence-wise?
Yeah. I mean, Sean and I were and Aaron, we'd all, get up every day and review all the audio from the night before, the audio, the video from the handheld camera. We couldn't actually, they wouldn't let us review the motion cameras, the robotic cameras, but we were able to review all that. And it's like, man, they used like 2 things, and we had a list of 28 days. Every day we had at least 15 different like spirit box responses, EVPs. And it's all just gone.
Well, it's not gone.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't hit the cutting room floor, so it's still there. It's still usable. It's just a matter of how are they.
You guys had your personal cameras there too, didn't you?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, we were able to bring our equipment, but as far as like actual recording stuff, like Sean had an SLS, but they'd take the SIM card from them every night.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's one way to control everything.
Yeah, they controlled it pretty good that way, I guess.
Yeah, because at that point, it makes it their evidence, not yours.
It makes it their property.
Yep.
Yep.
So is there any equipment that you personally brought that isn't normal paranormal equipment? I already know the answer, but.
The electrostatic generator, and in that pool, I wasn't in the pool. The electrostatic generator and my metal detector. Look, there's a screen to use pinpointer right here.
Yeah. And Jane, it was
Shane
Pittman that was in the pool in Denver. Out of all the places, that's the only place that I've been by was the one in Denver. So
the Lumber Baron Inn.
Yeah, every time I went to Denver, my VP would say, "We need to get you over there." And so I drove by it one time, and they were willing to pay for me to spend the night there. Said, "Hey, you got money to stay in a hotel?" He goes, "You can stay there." It was just too far away from Littleton to go up there. But I was more than willing to do it. It's just, because every trip I took, I don't know about you, but every business trip I take it like it's the last time I'm ever going to go there. And so I try to do something personal every time.
Yeah.
So
I most of the time I just grab some local beer and just crash in the hotel.
Well, in my case, it was, hey, what's paranormal by me? Like in Seattle, I went to the Merchants Cafe, the oldest restaurant in the city of Seattle. That was on Dead Files. And then I went to Kel's Irish Pub, which upstairs was a mortuary.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on Ghost Adventures. But I just said, at that time, I just said, yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator. And they both gave me the keys and let me go wherever I wanted.
Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, see ya. I mean, I still pay.
We've had that happen before.
Yeah, I have that happen every place we go.
In Nevada, at that hotel, what was it? We walked in and asked them something, and they gave us the grand tour. Tonopah,
in the Mitzpah Hotel. We just walked in, and I said, "Yeah, I'd like, is it okay if we walk around and check out the hotel?" And they go, "Would you like a tour?
Yeah.
We'll take you on a tour."
They even took us in a room they don't normally let anyone in.
And I was like, "Okay." So
well, let's go.
Yeah, that's me. We go to any place. If I say something, one funny story was we were in St. Genevieve, Missouri.
Oh yeah.
And we're trying wine, and there was a ghost on the wall. It was Halloween. There was a ghost on the wall, and I said something, and the lady goes, "Did you see her?" And I was like, "Well, yeah."
It's right there.
and of course, at this point, I already knew it was haunted before that, but I was trying to play it down because our daughter really wasn't wanting to know anything about it being haunted. And I said, "Well, yeah, she just came down the stairs and came around." And I said, and she's pointing upstairs, and she goes, "She does that all the time. I wonder why." She goes, "I'm going to lock up." And she goes, "I'm going to take you guys on a tour." She took us to the attic. She took us to the basement. I mean, had that winery was closed for probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, be fine. No one's coming in.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday.
Yeah.
They were coming in.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was just funny that, actually it was a Sunday. It was after we left McPike Mansion. We drove down there.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of funny that I just say something and I get us a free tour of some place that we didn't even know was haunted until we walked in the door. So, but with the places that you go, I know that you're the tech guy. So what piece of equipment is the best piece of equipment to take to every location?
A digital recorder.
Okay. Do you always get something?
Not always. I
Okay.
mean, there's usually more things I can talk myself out of than I can. Like, oh, that was a good EVP. Most of the time I have this war inside my head of what if that was a car driving by? What if that was somebody?
Right.
Right.
Because no matter, it never fails. Every investigation you're on, somebody's like, we're hunting deer. You gotta be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Go down that hallway. Why are you whispering? You're not sneaking up on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we hear that a lot where it sounds like somebody who's there's voice.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times it sounded like on Ghost Adventures, Billy's voice, Aaron's voice, Jay's voice in the recording, and you're going. And of course, I know that they're not alone. I mean, I've been there when they film.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not by themselves. There's 90 people outside, not 90. There's about 20 people outside, and you're right. It could be a car. We used my computer one time to get EVPs. I got a mouse fart mic. Guess what we heard? Road noise. That's all you could hear was
road noise. You can hear the fan in the computer. You can hear a USB hum in my microphone that I'm using right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just there's too much that you can just be like. Most people like jump to it like there it is. Yeah. And you really need to be like, maybe it's just me and I'm overly critical about things. Like with probably the second best piece of equipment that I always fall onto is the SB7. And, now that Aaron and I have been using that thing for all these years now, there's some things that you can catch live that kind of makes sense to the questions that you're asking. But for the most part, I don't use that as concrete evidence. I always take that and put it up on Adobe Audition afterwards and spend hours and hours on a 10-minute clip, just noise canceling out the static and going back and playing it again, go back and play it again and stretch it out a little bit. Maybe try to make something out of it that's relative to the question that was asked at that point in time. Then even then I'm still trash it over that. But I mean, as long as it's relative to that question, then I would consider that compelling data of a haunting or a spirit engaging with us via the SB7.
We have a question here from Mike. He asks, was there any occurrence in the 28 days that made you want to invest that you would have liked to have investigated more?
We're allowed to investigate as long as we wanted every night.
Okay. So I think another way to ask that question is would you like to go back and investigate more succinctly?
Oh, go back to Captain Grant's and dig into something else. Yeah.
I mean, now that you have information, now that you can go and research it and stuff, maybe there's something that you would like to dig into a little bit more because now you've got some history. You've got some information that's not derived from experience.
I'd like to go back to Captain Grant's with ground penetrating radar and figure out if Captain Grant's really in that grave or not.
Could be a dog. Sorry.
Could be nothing. Could be nothing.
Does the ground have a depression?
No, there's no depression there. He was buried in 1832, I think.
And more than likely, that was a wooden coffin. It would have crushed in, and there would be a depression.
Yeah. We had some things on the show that got cut that led us to believe that there's a probability that he might not be there at all, and it was just a memorial set up.
Well, that's like Edgar Allan Poe's grave in downtown Baltimore. He's not buried there. He's buried out in the county.
Would they lose him in like a pauper's grave, like what's that, Amadeus?
No, actually, they moved him. He was at one time he was buried downtown and right there by the building. And when they changed building codes, they had to move him.
Oh, so they could build on top of him?
No, it's still, his grave is still there. It's just he's not buried there. They moved him out to Westminster, and he's buried out there. And his grave was being vandalized.
Of course.
Even back then. I mean, Felton is not the best place, but it is what it is. Things happen, and it's always people. People are not. Well, so it's downtown Baltimore. It's been that way ever since I can remember.
Now, since you watched the shows and the other two locations, either one of them you would like to investigate?
Madison Goods. I'd go and get locked into that place for 28 days in a heartbeat. That place looked cool. And not because of like the demonic energy and stuff, like, well, the energy that was like on the show there. It was just, there's so much more layers to that place, being a funeral home and being a dry goods store. Aaron and I have found out over the years that when you have a place like a general store, was it a general store in the past? I think it was a funeral home / general store.
Right.
But when there's a location like that people are like dedicating their lives to, general store, funeral home, I mean, somebody could dedicate their lives to both of that. For us, the things that Aaron and I have seen, that we got to investigate a Scottish Rite cathedral, and you would be blown away at how many spirits are still there, like, for the Scottish Rite. And it makes sense because those guys dedicated their life to Freemasonry and that whole system. I don't even know what the word is you'd call that, but just dedication to that. And they're still there because of that. We were asking questions that dealt with different rituals, and we were up in their meeting room, and in Masonic meeting room, you have, chairs at the front of the room. That would be the west chairs, I think. And then there's east chairs, and there's a north chair and a south chair. And I asked, can anybody sit in that chair right there? And it was the north chair. And in actual Freemasonry, nobody's supposed to sit in the north chair. That north chair is always supposed to be empty. And it says, you may not, on the spirit box. And when I was talking about the north chair. So that was kind of cool.
Wow.
I'll tell you, I would go stay at the Lumber Baron because all the bathrooms have jacuzzi tubs.
My wife wants to go there because she is absolutely in love with that like starburst that's on top of like the cupola there.
There's another place that you might want to check out if you go, the Croke Patterson house. The stories about that place are amazing. It's all red brick. And when they were renovating it, well, they were trying to renovate it. So they got some guard dogs to go in there. So to stay at night, first thing is they had a renovation crew in there, and every day they would work. At night, all the stuff that they did would be taken down and piled up by the door. The next morning when they came,
you guys get the F out of here right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
So they hired this security crew to come in. They had German Shepherds, and they would just put the German Shepherds in there. And if there was somebody there, the German Shepherds would, catch them or at least scare them off. Well, they came in and the German Shepherds had jumped out the windows. There was nobody there, nothing on camera, but the German Shepherd had ran through the window, jumped out, and was found dead on the ground when they got there.
Wow.
Then they got Dobermans the next time, thinking that maybe it was just the dogs got spooked by something. Same thing happened again. And I did a downtown walking tour. It was just me and Chris Moon's stepfather. Yeah. And he was telling me this and some of the things that happened to their family in that place was just amazing. But now it's open as a bed and breakfast. So you can actually go stay there just like you can at the Lumber Baron. And so it's about $230 a night to stay there. But the guy who was supposed to remove the bodies from Cheeseman Park actually lived in the carriage house next door. And when they found out that some little girl got abducted, and they thought he did it. And when they were searching there, they found the bodies of the people he was supposed to be taking out of Cheeseman Park. Well, he took them out, but he put them in boxes, and he was bringing them back in smaller pieces because he was getting more money. And they found the hallway underneath from the carriage house to the house lined with bodies that he had dug up, the bones. So it's related to Cheeseman Park as well. So it's just a really strange story. And I mean, I found proof of this. There was actually newspaper stories that talked about this. So it was not like, hey, we're telling you this story and it's a true story. Well, it's not a true story to me until I find proof of it.
Right. He's Colorado's Ed Gein.
Yeah, he was weird. But yeah, it was strange that the little girl next door should happen to come up missing, and they thought he had taken her, but they found her. She was alive. But it's neat down where the lumber baron is. But yep, like I said, I stay there. The jacuzzi bathtubs did it for me.
Oh yeah.
I'd stay at McPike Mansion in the basement for 28 days straight. That'd be fun.
It's a little bit moist, and the bats might poop on
in
you.
The cellar.
Yeah.
That'd be a tight fit.
Did you see that they got one of the upper bedrooms all cleaned out?
Oh, did they? They were able to finally reinforce the floor and
it's cleaned up enough to where they can reinforce the floor.
Right.
Good.
The floor above the cellar, that is being replaced now. So when you go you go in and you go to the right, the part of the floor is there, but part of it's not, and you can see the top of the cellar.
Yeah, actually, the kitchen's right above the cellar.
So, yeah, we've been all throughout the building.
Yeah, I know you guys have.
Yeah, being volunteers for as long as we've been.
You guys in the Coyote always rubbed it in about, I've been inside McPike. You can't go, but I've been in.
Well,
Chris might have rubbed it in a little more.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he did.
But I tell you, I do miss him. He was. It just seemed really strange when we went last year and Chris wasn't there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that miss him.
Strange, the first year Jerome was gone, he just passed away, a little over a month before the camp out.
Yeah. He's September. Well, it was when I was in the hospital. I was going to the hospital. It was right before I went to the hospital with a collapsed lung.
Late September.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we were supposed to go to Jerome's funeral, and I was in the hospital instead. And that was also when they had the event out there at Ashmore, Ash Bash.
Yep.
We were supposed to go out for that. And nope. That would have been the last time we would have seen Rick if we could have gone. So
Ashmore, I can't do it, but I would love to be locked in there for 28 days straight.
I agree with you. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I'd be saying yes before they even finish their sentence. But I can't go because I know most of the history of the place.
Right. Did they hint about any another show? Doing another one?
Nothing that I know of right now. There's nothing coming in. I'm sure if they were to do something like that, they'd email us, or either that or they're going to just select a completely different team, which most of the cast, we have a group chat, and pretty much everybody has come to the consensus that if they were to do something like this again, that they'd, take a different team, because you don't want to see the same 8 people. Here we go again. We already got an idea of what they're like being locked up for 28 days, but
you never know. Maybe you can juggle you around.
Shuffle the deck and move us around to different groups, and somebody else can make Aaron cry.
Oh. Well,
we laugh about it now because
he's talked about it as well, and you guys are friends, and that's sometimes the people that were the meanest to are the people we love the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether you were mean or not, I didn't think you were. You were just being honest. And sometimes people wear their heart on their sleeve, especially when they're missing somebody.
Yeah.
And I know he was missing his little one.
Yeah, he was missing his little one, and just the stress of everything going on. And
Yeah,
I've told him for many years that, I only beat you up because I like you. If I wasn't talking to you, then I wouldn't like you. So
that's right.
So basically, that's why I tell everybody: if I'm not teasing you, then I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you and Aaron meet?
Aaron and I met way back in 2009. He was running around my wife's work, him and her work together, and he was like, I'm G. Thompson. I'm going to start a ghost team, this and that. And she was like, why don't you take Nick? He's as big as a door. And he sent me a background check. I still have it in my email. I'll have to dig it out and post a screenshot.
He did a background check on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
And we hooked up and started doing residential investigations. Our first house was a family home in Moline, Illinois. And and ever since then, it's just been him and I, working together, doing stuff. And in 2020, we kind of split apart for a little bit, but we're still buddies. I went and did some other projects, and he went and did some other things, and we kind of come back together for 28 Days Haunted.
Yep.
Yeah, because I sent you a message and we talked about that a little bit at one point, because I thought that you guys, I actually said, I thought you were working on, you guys weren't really together anymore, because I hadn't seen you busy out there. So
end of 2019 into 20, things kind of went haywire for Aaron, and he just kind of stepped back from everything. So I just went off and with my buddy Zeke Sethwill, and we did some stuff that you can find on YouTube called Afterlife Sessions.
Okay.
There's 3 episodes of us working on short documentaries on there. You can watch us at Crown Point Jail in Crown Point, Indiana, and the Rock Island YMCA, and then sweet Jesus, Ashmore Estates. That's probably the most scared I've ever been on film.
Ashmore. I'll have to check that out, because I keep getting every time we have to go to Ashmore Estates, something pushing says, nope, you can't go.
Yeah,
what, 3 times now, hadn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. We've been there twice, and the second time we went, I really couldn't be in the building very much, and it had nothing to do with the spirits. It had to do with health. So, and every single time it's health. And I told Ron, I said, if I didn't have a visit from the spirits, I knew we weren't going each time.
Mm-hmm.
I knew. And that one time we were supposed to go, I was all packed up and ready to go. And we told somebody that we would pick them up and be on our way. And I told Ron, he just sat there, let me pack up everything, all that. He's like,
we ain't gonna make it.
He's not. He's sitting there going, okay. He knew that I wasn't going to make it, but
I think I'd asked you the day before. I said, "Do you have any spirits come and visit?" And you looked at me and went, "No." Like, how did you know? And that's when I knew.
Yeah,
I said, "None of them have visited this whole week." She goes, "No," and I went, "Okay."
Yeah, they don't visit her. There's nothing going on at that.
Nothing. That ain't gonna happen.
We had my lung had collapsed. I'd had a biopsy on Tuesday of that week that we were supposed to go, and Thursday I still hadn't heard back from the doctor that I had called, and Friday I still hadn't heard back.
Yeah,
and I just at noon I just sat down, slid down onto the floor, and said, "I can't go."
Yeah.
And so I called the doctor and I said, I still haven't heard back from you guys. And they go, "Oh, you." And this is finally 4:00 when they called me back. And of course, this was noon when I came to the realization I couldn't go. Mm-hmm. Noon they go, or at 4:00 they go, "Can you go to diagnostic imaging and get a lung X-ray?" And we take Ruby.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling right.
And that's when we found out I had a collapsed lung and that I couldn't go. And it is what it is. And
what do they do? Make you put your thumb in your mouth and blow on it?
I wish it worked like that. But no, they gave me a lot of medicine and then they hit a nerve. and I was just basically out for 5 days. But
Wow.
it there was nothing more painful than that, and there's nothing they could do to take the pain away. So I would much rather have gallbladder attack, a baby with no anesthetic, break my toe, pass out in the bathroom and break my foot. I'm more than willing to do all that stuff again. I don't ever want another collapsed lung that they have to reinflate.
Yeah, my boss had a collapsed lung. He was at work. He's like, man, it's hard to breathe. And then finally they're like, just go home, man. And he left and he went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, your lungs collapsed. He's like, oh, I've been dealing with this for like 3 days.
What did he do? What did he do to cause it? He didn't know.
Don't know. He's got severe asthma. It just kind of did it during the night.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I told him when I found out I had a collapsed lung, I started crying, and not because of the collapsed lung, but because that's how my mom breathed, how she would breathe for years because she had COPD. And I said, oh my God, it's horrible knowing that how much she suffered,
Right.
And so anybody out there who has COPD, I feel your pain. If you've ever had a collapsed lung, you know it, and it sucks. But we believe that I got that from a combination from the Sally House and Ashmore Estates.
Yeah.
I ended up with some weird growth in my lungs related to mold.
Well, I mean,
so needless to say, I would not stay at Ashmore Estates for long term because of mold.
The mighty Edinburgh Manor here in sunny Iowa has gave me an upper respiratory infection 3 different times now.
Really?
That whole basement is mold.
Has that been since they cleaned it up, or is it not
no,
that
clean? This was before. We're reaching into the Wayback Machine and going all the way back to 2012 to about 2015. But
okay, so yes, definitely before the ownership now then.
Right.
Yeah. The first time I got that upper respiratory infection, I was and it's like we did Edinburgh, got sick. Then the week after that, I had to go to the Bowen building down in Peoria at the Peoria Asylum before they tore down that beautiful stone building. It's long gone now, but it's the one that you see on the episode of, I think, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Asylum went there.
Okay.
And and we're huffing and puffing. All the recordings is just me going out of breath and stuff. But yeah, that was definitely worth the trip to visit there. I mean, both places, Edinburgh and the Peoria Asylum, but it's sad that Peoria's gone because that was a really cool building.
Well, I am sorry, Jane, to hear that you have COPD and asthma. That sucks.
Right.
So,
hey, the next time that you almost make it to Ashmore, if you get out there and turn back, if you go back towards that little bitty town, I don't know the name of it.
Charleston?
No, the other way.
Ashmore? Oh, the town. Okay, yeah, I know about where's that.
Yeah, there's a cemetery out there that has a witch's grave in the cemetery. This lady was buried on February 31st because they didn't want her to come back.
Oh.
And it's either her headstone is this big globe, and it talks about how evil she was and all this, and her I think it's her death date is February 31st. That's how worried they were about this lady coming back and just like cursing the town and whatnot. So,
wow, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, I got pictures of it. It's worth seeing. I'll send them to you.
That is unusual. It's funny. I think every state has at least one witch's grave.
Yeah, when we were out there filming for Afterlife Sessions, Robin actually told us about it. I'm like, we're going out of our way. We got to see this.
Yeah. Well, because you can't go to Ashmore, the graveyard for the actual Ashmore Estates for the Coles County poorhouse. You can't go there because it's on private property.
Yep, I definitely tried reaching out to people, and I'm probably the 4,000th person that reached out to the people that are the owners of that land listed on the GIS website for that county, for Coles County.
Yeah.
And got nothing in return. But it would have been cool to walk over there and see it because, I mean, it's just straight out the front door of Ashmore, straight across the highway there, and then down into the woods.
Yeah. I knew where it was. It's just, it's not worth the trespassing.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big thing that's always been huge for me with metal detecting and even with chasing ghosts is, you got to have that permission.
What is the weirdest thing you found metal detecting?
The weirdest thing I found metal detecting, well, probably drug paraphernalia.
Probably didn't want to even pick that up, huh?
Like, oh, look, somebody's toilet handle. That's what it looked like. It looked like a little whoosh, what you flush the toilet with.
Yeah.
Have you ever found out it wasn't?
Have you ever been to like a Civil War battle site and been able to detect anything there? I know it's illegal in most Civil War battle sites.
Yeah, it's illegal pretty much everywhere except Europe. Guys in Europe can go anywhere and dig up old mustard gas bombs and guns, and they dig up actual dead bodies. But yeah, as far as detecting Civil War stuff here in the United States, if it's a protected, legit battlefield, it's prison time on that one, and a hefty fine. Well, let me back up, not prison, but jail time and a hefty fine, and they take your metal detectors. So like Gettysburg is for sure off limits, but there's guys that have done their research to find like where there was movement. If it's not a battlefield, as long as they're like moving through there, so like roads and stuff that they used to use in camps, it's awesome. You can find dropped mini balls and buttons and belt buckles and ammo box plates and stuff. My buddy that lives here in town, he's got an ammo box plate that's got it's a Union ammo box plate. It's about yay big. And it's got a brass eagle on the front of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, as long as
That's
it's not
what
a
I'd like to do
site.
down at our cemetery. There ought to be some stuff around that land out there.
Yeah.
And at Hans Mill Massacre where they had the big massacre.
Right there.
Yeah, but isn't that a private property?
Yeah, but you can do anything out there.
Oh, okay.
We've investigated out there. They just got it fenced off now to keep the four-wheelers out there from tearing it up.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job the last time we were out there.
Oh yeah,
tearing it up. So, I was going to say, I know that I've seen people out when we went to Gettysburg. We saw people out there, and they said, "Don't take your EMF detectors. Don't take anything out there because they assume that you're metal detecting if you take anything out there."
Yeah.
And it's funny that you should say Gettysburg because
Couldn't even
I was
take
showing
this guy
Carl.
out.
I was showing this to Carl. Ron got a letter from a friend of ours. Their child goes to Gettysburg Montessori Charter School, and it was a thank you note for veterans from Gettysburg.
Oh, that's cool.
And this just came on Saturday. So it was really nice for that. And it's signed by all the kids in the class. So it's really cute. So this is Mr. Ruby, who keeps trying to make a appearance.
Crawling under chairs, desk,
X.
Yeah, he likes the keyboard.
D A C.
Yep. Here, you want to take it?
F
You say hi to Carl and Nick.
E W.
Hey, you want to say
knows?
you want to say hi to Carl and Nick? Say hi. Wave.
Hi.
Hey.
So, if this is the little one that I left to come see you when we were down there in
Arkansas.
Yeah, when we were at Dog Patch.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I still look back on that and look up stuff on YouTube about it just to see how it's doing. And I guess it's completely bought out by some big organization, and it's pretty much
Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, it's going to be leveled.
Yep. They bought it and they're building
What are they doing with it?
A sanctuary there, fishing and some other stuff like that. So at least that's what I heard last. But yeah, it was Bass Pro bought it, and it is. I mean, that river is a very nice river. I saw lots of fish. Hey, can you go get my tablet? Bring it here.
Yeah, when I was little, we never. My mom and dad always asked us if we wanted to go down there because we were going down there every year anyway. Because our relatives in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But they'd say, "You guys want to hit Dog Patch? It's similar to Six Flags, but a little different." And we'd all say, "Yeah." And every time we get near, it was like, "Nah, let's just get the grandpa and grandmas and to visit everybody."
Yeah.
Every time we say yes, but then when we got close, we was like, "Nah, we don't want to spend all day out there. We want to hang out with our uncles and cousins But we got to the parking lot one time.
Almost made
Almost.
it
It
to
was on the way
Ashmore.
back.
Almost made it to Dog Patch, huh?
Yeah.
What did you think about that parking lot, though? How far away it was from where we had to go in?
Yeah, that was
Could you imagine if we had parked up there and tried to walk down there?
no.
Especially
I
as cold as it was.
Now, since I went back, I wished we'd actually went in the dog patch at least one time. That way I could, see where everything looked like now, but never made it in.
Instead of now, it's just all rotten, or it's probably gone by now if Bass Pro Shops has it.
Right.
You should be able to hear it now.
Probably the highlight of
you was
the
talking
highlight
about
of that.
the deer meat you have in your freezer. So you're a deer hunt?
No, I'm a fisherman. The deer meat was given to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I figured with all the outdoor stuff and all that, you deer hunt.
Yeah, I do love being outdoors, mushroom hunting and all that, but about the only thing that I'll go out and kill is fish.
So what was your highlight of
we were walking and I was with a bunch of the Dark Knight people, and it was close to midnight, and there was like a howl that come out of the woods. Wow. And one of the guys goes, "Yeah, that was probably a big cat." I go, "A big cat? You didn't say anything about a big cat when we agreed to come down here. I'm from Iowa. The worst thing we got to worry about is mosquitoes."
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that there had been a wolf down there.
Oh, really?
They got mountain lions too. Yeah, I know they got deer.
Yeah. So, and let's see, that was what, on Friday night or Thursday night? Because we came down, what was it? We came down Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been Friday night most likely.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So, because, actually, no, we got there Friday.
Yeah, I think we were down a couple nights.
Yeah. Yeah, we got down. Well, we didn't stay.
Let me step away real quick.
I'm just trying to remember when we got there.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I think we got there sometime on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, we were in the same hotel as him and Aaron. That's how we ended up playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. That game is something else.
That was the first time we'd ever played, and it was us, the Dark Knight. Aaron was not down there with us, just Nick and Matt Bennett.
Right.
So, like I said, we all had a really good time. And
Jane, it's a green screen right now. I change it around from the regular wall to a green screen every once in a while.
If mine didn't slow down so much, I'd do something different, but it slows
Yours
down.
shouldn't slow down. You got a fast computer.
It's my internet, not my computer.
Oh.
So, but
Ew.
it is what it is. So,
yeah.
But
a lot of internet issues all over the place all the time. Luckily, we haven't had that issue for quite a while. Knock on wood. Yeah. But, yeah, things are going that way. But, oh, I got his cat.
Oh. Got a kitty?
Yeah, I had to step out real quick.
We always have an animal show up in the show.
Oh, yeah. It's usually one of ours.
The minute I open the door, all 4 of my cats come in here like, what's going on in here?
Where you at?
Well, see, Ruby's in here right now, so that kind of keeps the cats away.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be having, apparently we're going to be having another cat, but I doubt she'll come up here. Kaylin.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think she'll come up. So, what's your cat's name? That one.
This one's Babes. She's the oldest. She's 12. And we got
Pretty cat.
Yeah. Oh, she got caught on my cord. I bet that was loud.
Oh, we didn't hear it.
Oh, good. Yeah,
So-
she's the oldest. She's the queen of the house. Then it goes. Oh, I just picked you up. And it goes like 6, 2, and 1.
Oh.
Our youngest is 5. And
Well,
you'll
since we're on,
hardly ever see her.
yeah, that's our middle child, the 2-year-old. She's just like a bolt of lightning, gone. Especially any minute somebody comes over to visit, she's.
That's how
right
she
underneath
is.
the bed.
But
Yep.
that's like any of our shows. We usually have cats or dogs that'll show up on the cameras. We got one host that's got brand new kittens. They're Siamese mix.
Oh,
So when she's on there, she's got her background right there in the living room. The
Mhm.
cats
Yep.
are playing on the floor, running around.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to watch.
The bad
Yeah,
part
like-
is if we were closer,
Yeah, they were.
she would have less kittens.
Oh, I know. She's
Yep.
trying to get rid of them.
And there's
I'd
no
probably
way I'm
have 5
driving to,
cats then.
yeah, I'm not driving to Lexington, Kentucky to get a cat.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, we had 5, but they were down to 4.
We had 7.
Well, counting the outdoor ones, yeah.
I used to work at a haunted attraction, and the people that owned it had 15 indoor cats.
Ooh.
The owner of McPike Mansion, she has.
She doesn't have as many, but
She doesn't have as many
Sharon.
at this point, but at one time she had 22 indoor cats
Oh yeah.
and 14 dogs.
You're just
Oh, Lord.
shoveling litter all day, every day.
That
Yeah.
would be a job in itself.
It was. I just know that I was grateful it wasn't my house.
Still has sparks.
Yeah, but you figure she owns McPike Mansion, her house, and then the house across the street. So between the 3 houses, none of the animals are in the mansion.
And the only thing I got to worry about is the dog and the bird.
What kind of bird you got?
Got a green parrot.
Ooh, that'd be fun to have.
And then
It
he had,
is, except it don't like guys. It's a rescue bird.
Yeah.
It did like me until our granddaughter was here, and she's got beautiful auburn red hair. And we had it out, and it flew over on top of her head and started digging into her head. So I reached over and grab it real nicely and pick it up and put it in the cage.
Yeah.
Up until that time, that bird would climb up on my shoulder, on my hat, around and just love on you and all this and talk. Now, that bird hates me with a passion.
Wow.
In one instance, he gave you the feathery finger.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
God.
said, nope.
Tammy got sick and went in the hospital, and she goes, "You got to feed the bird." I had to put welder gloves on.
Oh man.
This bird wanted to tear me up.
Damn.
You're gonna die, Carl. That
So
bird's
now Tammy messes with the bird and gets it out. When she gets it out, I leave the room because I'm like, that thing's going to fly over here one of these days and just rip me apart.
Wow.
we have a pet store up the road that has a cockatiel, and her name is Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I walk in that store, it doesn't matter where I am, she comes over and she has to go around the store with me. I hadn't been there in a year and a half. She still did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she remembered who I was and
Kids
everything.
have got memories out of this world.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a bird
Or
person.
a cockatoo.
I'm not a bird person or a dog person, so I don't know why they like me.
I always
So
thought it'd be neat to have like a macaw. One of those like the birds from the Captain Morgan
Yeah.
bottle.
They are, but the first time you give them a real hard nut that you can't break with a hammer and they snap it with their jaws, you think about that real quick.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
And the fact that bird will probably be at your funeral
Yeah.
because they live to be like what 90 in human years.
Yeah. My nephew or my cousin has got one. He was injured in the military.
Mhm.
And He's from the waist down, he's in a wheelchair and stuff. So he sat around his room for a long time after he collected a bunch of money and stuff. And they finally told him go do something. Well, he went and bought him a macaw, right? Had the cage set up in his room and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He would play rock and roll records and different adult shows for this bird. This bird could cuss you out in 7 different languages, right? Then he would get them real hard, one of the hardest nuts you can get, them long brown ones that you
Brazil
can't even
nuts?
break with a hammer.
Are those Brazil nuts?
Yeah. He puts them in there to this bird. That bird grabs it and goes snap like that. And I went, oh my God. Imagine your finger. They'd be gone.
Yep.
He goes,
Right
oh
now,
yeah,
just
but he's
clip.
friendly. And I went, uh-uh. And the damn thing was like 2.5, 3 foot tall.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty big.
They have some at the Flamingo in Vegas.
Yeah.
They are just beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go there, just to walk around to see the basically it's a bird sanctuary and a fish sanctuary for what kind of fish? All the koi. There's huge
the koi.
fish there. I mean,
Yeah.
but the birds are just beautiful there.
Last time we stayed there, we went down to the buffet and sat right up against the glass, and I was just looking out at the macaws and the fish, and that's Bowie. Where's he at?
Yeah, I see him.
He's back
Looks like
there.
you got
Yeah.
for a second there. It looked like you have on a Davy Crockett hat.
Yeah. At the tail
Yeah.
wig.
A live one.
Yeah.
It really does
What are you
now.
hunting? Oh, you're
There you
looking
go.
out the window. Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
he's a
there's a
pretty
wolf.
cat too.
yeah. He just showed up one day outside crying for food, and I'm like, "You gonna come inside?" And he was like, "Yep." Now he's an indoor cat, and I don't know how in the hell he survived outside because he's afraid of everything.
I know.
We have all of our cats except for
Yeah,
one.
one like that now.
So I saved 2 of them, one from the garbage can and one from the mud pile. But they were little; they were less than.
Oh,
They
man.
might have been 6 weeks old. And the other one came up to me at the school, and she had a couple litters of kittens and also just old cat. Well, she was about 2, I guess, and she's now 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she wants to go outside, but as soon as she gets in the grass, she's like, "Oh my God, I got to get out of the grass."
Help! I'm dying.
Yeah. Have you ever put clothes on your cats?
Yeah.
Do they
he's got
flop over on one side?
it. He kind of like walks around like what
Stiff-legged.
in the hell?
Yeah.
I had one of my other cats passed away last year, and he had a hoodie that we'd put on him, and he'd like army crawl. Like, just stand up, dude. You're fine. No, I must
Nope.
army crawl everywhere.
Really crawl.
Our cat, Oscar, we would put clothes on him, and he would flop over on his side like he couldn't walk at all. He just
Yeah.
flop over.
Help! I'm dying. This is
like,
the end of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the cat's going to starve to death because you put a sweater on it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a new
that's
diet
like-
plan.
Tammy had that Chihuahua and everything, and you'd get a dress out or something for it, right? And that dog would turn away from you. You'd have to set 3 outfits out on the floor, and that dog would choose which one it wanted
Yeah.
to wear.
Audrina's like that.
Yeah, mine. I let them pick out their canned food they want to
Mhm.
eat.
Do you do that too? Do you let your cats pick out their food?
I'm square.
No, I got a pretty good idea what they like and what they don't like, so I'll just go to the store and pick up some food for them. Then I think on Sundays, Sunday's pretty much the only day that we do breakfast. And
Yeah, that's
dump
what
that
I
all
do.
out. Yeah,
On Saturday morning, that's when I'd give them the canned food, and I'd put 2 or 3 out, and I would let Oscar was the oldest cat at the time, and I let him pick it out because he knew when Saturday morning was because he'd bug me. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's time
one
to go.
there and then another
Time to
one
eat.
over there on the
Yep.
couch. Right?
Okay, I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Looks like a Keela cat, like we have. We have one that's a striped cat.
Yeah, Coco.
I can't hear it.
We got one morning. I guess they were about 6 weeks old, but there was a mama cat with her litter that got in her trash, pulled the trash can over and everything. And we went out there, and as soon as they saw us, they all took off.
Here you go, Ruby.
Well, she was the run of the litter. Well, the next day, they got in our trash again. Whole litter sees us. They all take off running. She's trying to find some kind of food or something. Anyway, we got pretty close to her, and she turned around and just hissed at us and took off running. Another day or two goes by. Same litter of cats are out there, and they're all looking pretty rough. I mean, they're really skinny.
Yeah.
And she had her eye was closed, like she'd gotten scratched or something. She was look like she said she was a runt, and she was looking like crap.
Right.
And as we go out there again, the whole litter takes off.
And I catch her.
She kind of looks at the rest of the litter running off, and she looked so bad, and I know she felt bad. She kind of looked at us and went, "You got me.
I'm gonna
let you go. I'm gonna take a chance with you because that life is not good.
This eye is killing me."
Yeah, it can't be any better going with them. So, and she didn't hiss or not. She let us pick her up, and she's like, "I'm done.
And that
take
night,
me in."
That night, she slept on my shoulder, and she still sleeps at our head.
Yep.
You know, his head or my head, one of the two. She's always right up there.
Yeah, she was a mess.
She was, and because I had caught her the night before, but she scratched me so bad,
crap out, hissed, and
so I let her go. And the next night, she was willing at that point.
No problem.
But and this yellow cat that we have that you can't find, she's always gone. She was covered. Her and her brother and sister were covered in mud. And I found her just a couple days before Ruby was born.
Yeah.
And I had them downstairs, and I've been calling them Lucy, Ethel, and Ricky.
Wow.
Can you turn that down, Ruby? Ruby, can you turn that down? It's a little loud. He's actually holding his ears, going, it's too loud.
Man, this is loud.
Yeah, Mario Brothers. Here, Grandpa's going to help you.
There you go.
I think I'm going to have to help.
So, Nick, what's the best evidence you've ever caught?
Just turn it down a little bit. He's got a temper
match.
He's got his mom and dad's temper.
Here, you can still hear it. You can still hear it.
Yeah, cats are they're different.
Yeah.
I'm more of a dog person, but we've had cats so long that easier to take care of.
So did that.
Going back to Carl's question about best ever that I've ever caught would probably be, and this is in a YouTube video that we made and posted online. You can find it under Ghost Crier at YouTube, like Town Crier, but Ghost Crier. Has nothing to do with Aaron crying on 28 Days Haunted, but we went to the Iowa State Penitentiary. They opened it up for one day after they moved all the inmates to the new prison that is directly behind it in Fort Madison, Iowa. And we went down there for one day and waited in line and got like 3rd-degree sunburns because 4,000 people showed up. Because they're like, you can come down and take a tour of the old prison for free. Just bring a canned good and we'll let you in and you can tour it for free. It's like a 2-hour tour. I'm like, hell yeah, we're going. And I took a digital recorder down there. And in the recording, you can hear a retired guard telling a story about this particular cell block that we were in. And it was the lifers cell block. This was, there's no hope in hell for these guys to get out. And he's talking, and in this one instance, this little voice comes up and it says, "Hey, take a picture." Then right after that, without hearing that live in the moment, I go up to the jail cell and I go behind the bars and I my buddy Jared was with me. I was like, take my picture. That clip of that recording of, hey, take my picture, take a picture. Now we go to Chad Kalick, is a famous documentarian, and he made a movie called American Ghost Hunter. And in American Ghost Hunter, they talk about his brother actually talks about reversing audio, taking a piece of audio and just reversing it in an audio program just to, see if there's anything back there. And so I took that, knowing that, I took that audio for some reason, like hand to God. I don't know why I decided just to reverse that piece of audio. But when I reversed that audio of, hey, take a picture, it sounds like a voice saying, why are you lying?
Oh.
And that could be in reference to that jail, that prison guard telling a story about that cell block. Like, hey man, you're effing lying about that. That's not how it really happened. And it is probably the spookiest thing that I've ever figured out or captured as far as a raw EVP goes. I mean, we could go on all night about the different things that the SB7 has said, but for me, reversing that audio and have it say, "Oh, why are you lying?" Just like that cadence and everything is just, I mean, it makes, to this day, that was back in 2016, and I still get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Wow. Yeah, we met Chad a while ago on the American Ghost Hunter tour, actually.
Yeah.
It was me, Ron, his tour group, and one other person is all that showed up for the Kansas City area for the American Ghost Hunter tour.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then he goes, would you like our autographs? And I said, no.
Ouch.
He gave them to us anyway, so I have Chad Kalick's autograph around here somewhere.
Yeah, his is right up here.
Yeah. I like him. I think he's an interesting guy, but I knew something was up with Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Back then, I knew.
his buddy that is always with him. You see his name a lot. I don't know if you see him. You see him in a couple of the documentaries. Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lives here in town. And I've been in contact with him just about like all the legal things, like just sent him a message on Facebook, talking about, do I need an agent? He goes, if you're trying to get on other shows, you would. Oh, all right, cool, man. Thanks. He's like, yeah, no problem. It's just cool to have that here in town. And
yeah, main thing is vet everything. Just because somebody says, hey, I want to, let me be your agent, still vet them so that hey, this person really can do what they're saying. Background check might be helpful, especially if they're not known in the business. So it'll cover it's a CYA, and that's the most important thing, because you also don't want to be charged for stuff that they can't do.
Right.
Because a lot of them charge, or the percentage is so huge it makes it ridiculous for you to even do anything.
Yeah, and I'm not actively trying to get on more ghost shows like that. I'm, looking to use this clout to get into some pretty cool places. Oh, cat fight. Reached out to the.
You know what? That could happen. You could end up getting into a cat fight.
Yeah.
No, the actual cat fight. But, like I reached out to the chief of police here in town. Hey, I'm a TV guy. Maybe you could let us into the old Scott County jail here in Davenport, Iowa. And that's probably a hearty no. A hearty but firm no. And
but you didn't tell him you'd give him an autograph now, did you?
You can hand over Chad Kalick's. Here.
Yeah. Here, take that.
This.
We got to use that clout to, like metal detect that McPike mansion. Come on.
I never thought about that.
She would probably like it.
Yeah, she would.
I'm on my way.
Tell her you're friends with me.
Yeah.
I'm serious. She calls me.
She would.
And she hung up. I don't get it. That's weird.
No.
She would. She'd call up and say, hey, Denise, do you know a Nick Simons? And she'd say, yeah.
She'd
go, okay, and you would get the grand tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody who's gone there that said that they've known me, she'll turn around and she'll call me while they're still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Standing in front of her.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
And she'll
Yep.
put you on
hang on.
speakerphone.
Yeah. He's got, Gavin Kelly and Paula Purcell.
Yeah.
Paula
They
Kelly.
stopped by.
They showed up there and he sent me a message. He goes, she's calling you right now. And I go, I know, I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah, I already picked up.
So, and it's funny, but she trusts me. So it makes a big difference.
Yes.
She's been screwed over by so many people, and I've never done that to her. So
I wonder what you would find metal detecting around there.
I don't know, but I think back in the woods,
Oh yeah,
you'd find some stuff up close to the house where the old driveway used to be when the house was first built. I would think that you'd find some stuff there.
Yeah,
and
anywhere
by the tree out front.
people are getting up and out of carriages and stuff like that, because you get to figure pants back then were, designed kind of like dress pants. It wasn't like jean pockets. A dress pants is kind of like a slit.
Right.
So anytime you sit down and start bouncing like that,
Yeah,
you're just gonna see ya.
Yeah.
Just like it does on some of us women right now. We bounce up and down and stuff falls out. But
that's weird. You got banned again tonight. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, what other spirit boxes do you use besides SB7?
SB7.
Just SB7?
SB7. Everything else doesn't compare to the things that I've pulled off of there. Like I do use, well, we were talking the other night, the Black Vox and the Echo Vox, and those are pretty cool. And I have a, there's like a interterrestrial box that Dave Mc something, I forget his last name, but that one, it's pretty cool. It does some like neat ambiance stuff, and we've had a couple questionable things on there, but for the most part, SB7. And if I'm out with Aaron does use the Necrophonic a lot, and Dead Wave. Dead Wave's a pretty cool one. Dead Wave, we got that right when it came out. It's made by the people that make Necrophonic. But Dead Wave, we were using that when we filmed for Vidi Space at Viola School here in Iowa. And going back, listening to the recordings, we had reverb on. And Aaron's like, does this work better with reverb? Blah, blah, blah. And we get no responses. And just out of the blue, I told him to turn reverb off on Dead Wave. And there was all these responses coming in that weren't like the usual, it was actually words, like they were responding to us real time. And I'm like, we didn't have that when we had reverb on, and we shut it off and stood in the same spot. It's not like we moved to a different part of the building when that happened. It was fascinating how they preferred no reverb. So,
it echoes so much, and it is hard to hear. And if the spirit was a human spirit, okay, if it was a human spirit, it would get annoyed just like we would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought, because I know that the reverb sometimes is just one more thing that you have to listen through, and it's like wearing a mask. You have to try to figure out what they're saying without seeing their lips and it being muffled. And that's kind of how I see reverb.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, with reverb, you just get too much and it's just too noisy, and then you get everybody gets their streams crossed, and then because the popular thing is to just shout random crap out live. Did you hear that? It said Smoke Wolf. No, it didn't. Relax,
And what would that be in reference to?
Exactly.
Just random words don't mean squat unless it means something or unless it's relevant. And that's the part that, a lot of people don't get. A word is a word. The happens in a lot of sentences. Just because the word the is said doesn't mean it's relative to anything.
Yeah, that's huge for me. I need to have relevancy to what we're actually doing and talking about, the questions that we're asking. You see it on YouTube, and especially now on TikTok Live. I mean, shout out to those people for creating, but the amount of people that overreact to a spirit box saying, yeah, but you hear that? It said, yeah.
Yeah.
We all know what one of my peeves is they don't tell the spirits what a yes or a no is. So they always assume that when what is it called again? So suddenly went blank. No, the REM pod goes off, that it means yes. Did you tell the spirit that it's a yes or is it a no? How do we know that it's not a yes? We don't know it's not a different answer because you didn't tell the spirit, come close to this, and then they don't say anything else.
Just make this light up.
Yeah, just say that. Just come close and make it light up is one thing. But asking it a question and not validating what a yes or a no answer is doesn't help. It just frustrates me. I know that because I don't assume that because it came near the box that it's a yes.
Yeah,
I don't know about anybody else, but
exactly right. They didn't ask it; it just lights up.
Yeah, I've never used. Go back up there. It's right there. There's a REM pod right there.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that REM pod right there for probably 6 years, and I've only seen it work like it's supposed to one time.
Mm-hmm.
In that video that I did in 2020 with Afterlife Sessions at Ashmore Estates. If you've never been there, go. And we were upstairs in that big ballroom on the newer side where they have that mural painted on the wall. Some call it home. And I had it set right in the middle of the floor. And I said, this device that is right in front of me on the floor will light up different pretty colors, and it'll let me know that you are here with us in the room. So if there's any spirits with us in the room, please come over to this device because I physically cannot. There's no way of me knowing that you're here with us. And that damn REM pod lit up. And we were there in October, and all of a sudden that room started smelling like lilacs. It was freaky. Like, wow. I've never had that REM pod go off, and B, have a phantom scent like that, especially a nice phantom scent.
Yes. And that part down the stairs there, sometimes it stinks. But there are lilac bushes outside, but by then the flowers have already died. They're dead in like no later than May.
Yeah, so, this was October.
Yeah,
20th, we were there. I mean, it was starting to get cold out, and it was interesting how that scent had just appeared out of nowhere, and as fast as it appeared, after about 5 minutes, it was just gone again, and it went back to smelling like the rest of Ashmore.
Yeah. Is there any place that you don't think you'd go back to?
No.
I'm not saying because it scared you or anything like that, but
what's your favorite place to go to and hang out?
Ashmore.
Yeah.
Ashmore, or if we're locally, I have full access to the Rock Island YMCA here in the Quad Cities. It's a YMCA that was built in 1912, and the owner there loves Aaron and I. She is absolutely overjoyed with everything that's happened to Aaron and I, and we can go in there and investigate pretty much whenever we want, unless it's rented out to somebody else. And the fourth floor where the dormitories were, they are beautiful. You don't even need equipment. You can just go up there and just lean up against the wall and just look down the hallway at all the old dormitory rooms. And every once in a while, you'll see somebody just like lean out to check if you're still there, or they'll dart across the hallway and go to a different room. It's comparable to the what do they call them? The peepers at Missouri State Penitentiary.
I've actually seen something like that. It was at Belvoir Winery in the hospital.
Yeah.
A head stick out, and then it goes back in, and then it come back out, and it stayed out there for a while, and it watched us, and then we took off running down toward it.
Yeah.
And the head went back in. It was freezing cold right where that happened.
It was November.
It was in November. No, it wasn't that bad. It was in the 50s.
Well, I mean, I was just wearing a sweater and a shirt underneath.
Yeah,
so it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty nice out.
But to me, I'm wrapped in a blanket.
Well, I mean, 30, for the time of year, but I mean, it was freezing cold right in that spot when we got there.
Now, that YMCA, is that the same one Rex talks about?
Yep.
That's the exact same
They're
one
getting
that
ready
Rex
to
talked
do
about.
it. They're getting ready to do an event, and she's going to be on Rex's show Thursday night. The
Oh,
lady-
really?
Madison. You know,
Yep.
I need to get
I'd like
his,
to go up
his
there
list.
as much as Eve talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Madison.
got her, and he's got Chuck Banks on.
Yep.
Oh.
Chuck MF Banks, as Josh Hurd calls him.
Well, Chuck was supposed to be on my show months ago, but because of football season, he couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, he's a busy guy right about now.
Yeah, he is. And it's,
Well, he ain't got to worry about the playoffs.
yeah, I don't think Centerville's
Ouch.
coming to the playoffs. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
Oh, they have a better
the
team.
YMCA is worth the trip up if you guys can make it up. Like Carl said, Rex is having that event there, and Dink and Doink from 28 Days Haunted will be there,
Yeah.
supporting Madison and trying to use us being on Netflix, use it for good, and try to get more people in there that want to like see us and be like, we met Netflix people, just so we can raise the money for her softball team, because that's ultimately what this
And
is. It's a
that's what you
fundraiser.
got to do. That's what we've been doing with KD.
So when
Yeah.
is that? Are you
That was
planning?
first.
Is that in the
That-
plans?
No, that is December 3rd.
Oh, December 3rd. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we got the Paracon.
Yep. And Rex is coming on the Paracon
Yeah.
on
same.
the
It
The
is.
Second?
Yeah.
I have it written down. So
Yeah, we're having a
yeah.
virtual Paracon, a 2-day virtual Paracon
Oh, nice.
on here.
Well, you know how the weather gets this time of year. Some people want to go have go and hang out with people, but they can't. And
Right.
this works
So they
out.
get to sit at home and watch it and ask questions in the chat room and everything.
Yeah. And,
So-
And if they're brave, I'll
see
let them come on.
Yeah.
you see that with more like virtual things, people are more open to like actually talking to people and asking questions, because it seems like when you're out and about, like all the conventions that Aaron and I have been to, we'd be waving at people and they'd be like, oh shit, just duck and go away. And they were like that with the bigger TV people that were there too. Like they're just like, oh,
Then why did you pay to go if you're not going to interact? And
yeah.
And it took me, we went down to the Paracon in Joplin. It took me 2 days to get around to everybody, and there wasn't that many people there. But that's because I want to visit with everybody.
Right.
Susan, Denise will send you more information on that Paracon.
So actually, we'll talk about it before we get off of here, because I'm still looking for guests and vendors to.
How many more do we need?
However many want to come on. So just have people contact me. And if you want to be part of the Born No Travel Required SuperCon, contact me. I will get you scheduled with a time. And if we fill up, we have overflow on Saturday night after the final panel.
We all going to sit around.
If you're a vendor
drink
and
beer.
you want to show some of your items that you sell and everything, contact us. Make us a little video of it. We're going to show different things through the 2 days.
Yeah, we want to make sure that these small businesses get some attention, as well as the small charities get attention during this time, because we all know that the big charities get all the attention, Toys for Tots and all that. Yes, they're great charities, but you also have small veteran charities that don't get the attention, and they're extremely happy for your $10.
And this is this is put on by the veterans for veterans too. And all donations and everything that come through are going to go to veterans communities around.
So I've got some really good vet charities, like the little houses here in Kansas City,
where they build the little houses for veterans and put them in there and get them back up going.
Yeah, like Habitat for Humanity houses.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it's those small houses. Basically
the tiny homes.
Yeah.
Tiny homes, huh?
Yeah, like they build out of a 8x20 building, tiny house.
It's right by where the Paracon was. That was there on Holmes Road. It's on Troost, which is one block over. So it's in that area, and they need stuff like toiletries, they need socks, they need blankets, they need all this stuff. That's all donations, but they also provide the housing and cover the electric bills and water and all that that's related to it. And
Right.
that's really important to get people off the streets. And because, our winters here suck. I mean, your winters suck up there too, but
it's snowing right now.
It's snowing up there again?
Yeah.
It was snowing a little bit here. A little bit.
Was it really?
I don't even want to look outside. I'm not looking.
It was looking like it could snow when I was walking.
So, but yeah, I'll have a flyer up here soon. It's just I had family issues that family first. I take that very serious. So families first, and then everything else is just icing.
Got that
And
right.
see, Nick, I'm about 60 miles north of Kansas City. Up here in, Gallatin, Missouri, where Jesse James robbed the bank and shot the guy.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we have one of the 3 squirrel cage jails in this town.
Ah. And the other one's in what? Council Bluffs? Where's the third one?
Council Bluffs, and then there's one in Indiana, I think.
I think that's where it was, yeah.
Yeah, the only 3 left.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That to me just sounds like cruel and unusual punishment. But where can everybody find you, Nick?
You can find me on my Facebook page. I have a actual Facebook page that you can go and like. My personal page is, personal. And but yeah, you can just look up Nick Simons on Facebook, and it should be a picture of me in night vision looking back at you.
Okay, you guys go find him. And you already said you're going to be in Rock Island on December 3rd. Is there any other places you're going to be?
Nope, that's it for now. So if you want me to come show up and shake hands and kiss babies and whatnot, just get a hold of me.
Well, not during flu season anyway.
Not during flu season.
So, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And Nick's going to be on the Paranormal Pride sometime next month. I'm going to get him scheduled. I just haven't gotten to that yet. So,
she's going to beat me up some more.
Well, we're going to be more focused on paranormal on that. Like I said, this is from political to paranormal and anything in between.
This is everything. That covers everything. That's why it's called Not So Normal.
And here's
cat talk. Yeah, I was going to say it's about time one of them.
That's a nice looking kitty right there.
Yeah, you want her?
Yeah.
She's for free. She pukes everywhere. You really want her?
Yeah, I've got a couple pukers.
That's disgusting, I tell you. But I'd like to thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you next month. And you guys can find the Paranormal Pride here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. My guest on Monday is Nick White from Curse the Bell Witch. I've been trying to talk to him forever and ever. And so I finally get to talk to him. And I'm working on our guests for next week. I've got lots and lots of leads, really good ones too. Wait till you hear who they are, Carl. You're going to be as amazed and shocked.
Good.
On Sunday, we have Shaman Sundays, and the guest on there is, I just went brain dead. Who is his guest again?
I don't know who this week is.
I lost my spreadsheet.
I know who it was supposed to have been.
I know who was supposed to have been last week.
Right.
Both of them were sick.
Right.
Well, no, I had it all written down yesterday, and now I don't. Let's see here.
But everybody check out the Bill of Rights Network, Things Network, also Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment, and also check out the Paranormal Japan Facebook page where we're live at. So we
Carter
go live. Who?
Carter Bashart, Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Not
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigfoot guy out of Kansas City.
So that's who's coming up on the network. And of course, you just told us that Rex has Madison and Chuck Banks on Thursday night at 7:00.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. We got a great week of paranormal programming for all your paranormal needs. And if you have any requests of people you'd like to have for guests, please send me a message or send a message to Bill of Rights Network, and we'll see about getting them booked.
And anything, if you got anybody that wants to be on the Paracon, contact Denise or the Bill of Rights Network, and I'll get it to Denise.
I see it anyway.
I know it.
So So yeah, just
there's Kiki.
Oh, and here's another cat. So Kiki's got to make her appearance.
Oh, that's a big girl right
She's
there.
a big girl. She was the one that was starving.
Yeah, she was 4 pounds 6 ounces when we found her. She's now 15. So
Big cat.
Yep. So
she's a good
but
girl.
Thank you guys for listening. We're so grateful that you're here and that you come back every week. Keep coming back, please.
Right.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Thank you for being on. I love having you on.
Yep. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a good evening.
Good night. Yeah.